Trump 2020 campaign director, press communications, Aaron Perini, joins me now. Joe Biden on the ground now. We're hearing that he's going to meet with the family of Jacob Blake. The president did not do that. Do you think it's appropriate to meet with the family? Do you think the president should have done that?
The president did reach out to try and establish a conversation with the Blake family, but it's clear that Joe Biden is just going to Kenosha, Wisconsin for purely political reasons, and that's really disappointing. He shouldn't be trying to politicize what happened in Kenosha. President Trump went in his official capacity. He has now stood up resources for Kenosha, including funding for the local police, $4 million for local businesses as they try to rebuild, and over $40 million for the statewide safety. So, you look at the difference here. President Trump went in an official capacity as a unifier to provide resources and to be a healer. Joe Biden's just going for more political division, and that's really disappointing as a city like Kenosha tries to come back.
Well, he went with cameras during a season when he's running again for president. That's not political?
Well, there's always a traveling pool with the president of the United States. Cameras always follow the president everywhere he goes. I mean, that's part of the coverage of the press and their right to do so. And here's the thing. The president went and stood up resources, had a conversation, brought Attorney General Bill Barr and Chad Wolf to have a conversation about community safety. Joe Biden is going not in an official capacity at all, but only as a political candidate.
Yeah. All the news this morning, of course, is about this idea that the president wants to withhold funds from these cities that he says are falling into anarchy. You heard Governor Cuomo's very strong words in response, and also saying, the president is persona non grata in New York. First of all, does the president have the grounds even to withhold that money?
The president is asking for funding to be looked into. That's good governance. Let's see where the dollars are going. Let's make sure that funds are being used appropriately. And for Governor Cuomo to make such a thinly veiled threat at the president of the United States, that's disgusting. Cuomo should be above that, but apparently he's not. It's really disappointing to see that a governor, again, is choosing politics over facts here. He wants to try and divide his state against the president of the United States. The president is welcome in any of the 50 states, and he should be able to go anywhere without worrying that a governor is going to make thinly veiled threats against him. That's disgusting.
But when you look at the people that are getting, sort of crushed in the undertow of this back and forth fighting, you have small business owners in all of these cities. I mean, whether it's people in New York who have had their business the victim of COVID-19 and then the victim of rioting and looting, or even, a female hair salon owner that we heard this morning in Minneapolis saying that her store was broken into, it was set on fire, the police didn't come. All of these people are looking for help. What could the president do for them specifically? Because a lot of them say they feel forgotten in this.
President Trump has been fighting every single day for every American, including the small business owners. It's so difficult to see people try to come back from COVID to only see violent riots and looting happen. Any day there's been a violent unrest, the president has offered federal resources to be able and restore law and order to streets to protect businesses and livelihoods. If we followed Joe Biden's example, you might still be looking at burning in Wisconsin because he doesn't want to use the National Guard. The president uses it when asked and helps restore law and order. He's been pursuing legislative opportunities to be able to provide funding to these individuals. You saw him provide $4 million to the people of Kenosha, those small businesses, as they begin to rebuild. There's no bigger champion for the American people and small businesses than President Trump.
Speaking of law and order, you folks on the campaign have said that we haven't heard Joe Biden condemn the rioters. Just yesterday, he said this.
I would make sure everybody understood, if I were president, that any violence, protesting is a right and free speech is a right. But to engage in violence, burning, looting, and the rest in the name of protesting is wrong.
That's pretty clear, yes?
I mean, it's good that after so long, after over 90 days of violence and riots in Portland, that Joe Biden came out of the basement to make those remarks. When back in May, you saw President Trump stand up and very unequivocally say healing, not hatred, justice, not chaos. President Trump has always been firm that, yes, we protect your constitutional right to peaceably assemble, but that you should always have law and order, that you should be safe in your community in this country. Joe Biden has made clear he's not interested in that.